So MAGA Republican James Comer is going back on his right-wing media tour. And what he's saying is that the reason that they haven't instituted any additional impeachment proceedings against President Biden is because they have too much information, that there's just simply too much evidence that they are receiving, and they don't know what to do with it all. And that's why they're stalling their investigation right now. Here, just listen to him in his own words.
Here's a $64,000 question, Chairman. When do we hold them accountable for perjury or evading taxes?
A lot, evading taxes, many financial crimes. The reason that this is taking so long, in addition to the obstruction from the White House, is there's more evidence that comes in every day. We knew.
And if you just want to hear more from this interview and how just utterly pathetic it gets, listen to this.
Tell us what you found. You got some new news here that may really implicate Jim Biden and Hunter. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, this is more evidence of influence peddling. This is what we've been saying for the past year.
At the same time that MAGA Republican James Comer, who chairs the Oversight Committee, is saying that, you have Rudy Giuliani, Trump's right hand, whatever, on other right-wing media, basically confessing to crimes. You've got Rudy Giuliani saying that what the MAGA Republicans like James Comer and MAGA Mike Johnson in the House of Representatives need to be doing is that they need to be leaning on Zelensky, President Zelensky of Ukraine, and basically extorting President Zelensky of Ukraine in a quid pro quo that if Zelensky doesn't turn over a Biden file to James Comer, then the United States of America should not provide military aid to Ukraine. Now, where does that sound familiar? As Lev Parnas said, Rudy Giuliani, quote, somebody should lean on President Zelensky, feels like deja vu to me. And that's where Donald Trump was impeached the first time, and he was denying any quid pro quo. And now you have Rudy Giuliani just flat out saying it. Here, play this clip.
With Brennan, when they were hatching, when he was informed of Hillary coming up with the false plot, it should begin with him, and it should include Brennan, it should include Biden, the vice president, who approved it and helped out. They should bring over from Ukraine about 20 Ukrainian witnesses, I can get them, that are still being held there. A couple I found out very recently are in fear of death. And somebody should lean on Zelensky. You want another penny? Give us your Biden file.
And as Rudy Giuliani says that as the MAGA Republicans behave this way, I wonder if that's within the backdrop of a United States Supreme Court even entertaining the idea that Donald Trump would have absolute immunity for selling state secrets, selling nuclear codes, leading coups against the country, assassinating political opponents. Maybe that's why he feels emboldened to just talk like that. By the way, remember what Donald Trump's note card said? Remember one of the photographers got a close-up of what Donald Trump was saying in 2018 when his extortionate phone call to Zelensky was uncovered? Donald Trump said, I want nothing. I want nothing. I want no quid pro quo. Tell Zelensky to do the right thing. This is the final word from me. So embarrassing. Here's another angle of that. And here's the thing with Comer. I mean, Comer's been going on all of these networks. He's been, saying, oh, we've got this form, a 1023 from this whistleblower. We've got this whistleblower, right? It turned out that one whistleblower was a spy from China, a foreign agent from the CCP. The other was a foreign agent from Russia. And after lying to us, after lying to we the people, and again, this is where it shouldn't be like a political thing. Like, they're just liars. After lying to us and saying, we've got this form, this 1023, will expose President Biden. And we've got the best whistleblower who's gonna do all of these things. It turns out they're a foreign agent of Russia, like a high level one that's like that wants to harm our country. That's who the Republicans are relying on. They went from tear down the wall, Mr. Gorbachev, to, hey, send us your spies to testify in Congress as our own agents. Let's use Russian spies against the United. Like, what are we talking about here? Remember when James Comer went on that same, he's too afraid to go on other media at this point. He's too afraid to go anywhere else. Remember when he was on Jake Tapper, what happened to him? So he doesn't even go on other media. So here he is, right-wing media, saying that, that whistleblower was never important at all. What are you talking about? We never said that. We just heard that there was a forum. We never acted like this person was important. Here, play this clip.
End of the day, with respect to the FBI informant that Christopher Wray told Jamie Raskin, me, Charles Grassley, Jim Jordan, was one of their most trusted, highest paid informants with the Bureau for over a decade. At the end of the day, he wasn't an important part of this investigation because I didn't even know who he was. All I knew was there was a 1023 that alleged bribery. My investigation's about all the money the Bidens have taken from China, from Romania, from Kazakhstan,
for nothing in return. For nothing.
This guy had absolutely nothing to do with it.
Crazy.
We got a tip. We investigated. We couldn't figure out who it was.
Chairman.
And here was a moment that I loved where Democratic Congress member Jaron Moskowitz said, a show of hands right there. Remember when Hunter Biden showed up at the committee hearing and said, look, I'm ready to testify right now. And the Republicans were too afraid to even have Hunter Biden testify. You remember that moment and where Congress member Moskowitz said, okay, who wants to ask him questions right now? Let's hear from Hunter Biden right now in front of the American people. He's ready. And not a single Republican raised their hand. Play this clip.
And the chairman gave the witness that option. Then the only folks that are afraid to hear from the witness with the American people watching are my friends on the other side of the aisle. I don't know if there's a proper motion, Mr. Chairman, but I'll make a motion. Let's vote. Let's take a vote. Who wants to hear from Hunter right now, today? Anyone? Come on. Who wants to hear from Hunter?
Motion's out of order. Yeah.
No one. So I'm a visual learner, and the visual is clear. Nobody over there wants to hear from the witness. Oh, there's one. Thank you.
Will you yield for a question?
I'm not there yet, but I will eventually. So there's no one, well, other than one or two, that want to hear from the witness. So the majority of my colleagues over there, including the chairman, don't want to hear from the witness with the American people watching. So, Mr. Chairman, I just want to hear from you. Will you acknowledge that you invited the witness on television to choose whether he could come to a public hearing? And do you stand by your words, or do you renege that invitation to the witness?
To answer the question, I've said repeatedly, after the deposition, Mr. Biden can come in front of a public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I don't want to play the video, but that is not what you said on television multiple times. We have the quotes. We can put them up. You said the witness can choose between a deposition.
Listen, Mr. Moskowitz, Mr. Biden doesn't make the rules. We make the rules.
No, Mr. Chairman, you make the rules. And the rule you made is that he can choose.
The rule is...
Those were your words. Reclaiming my time.
Or how about this moment from Congress member Moskowitz, where he said to everybody, all right, you want to impeach President Biden? Raise your hands. Let's do it right now. Who here wants to formally impeach him? If you want to do it, do it. Let's go. And not a single Republican raised their hand. Play this clip.
Well, I mean, I'm just here to help him, right? And so I just think we should do it today. Let's just call for it. I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman. I want to help you out. You can second it, right? Like, make the motion to impeach President Biden. Go ahead. It's your turn. You second it. No, nothing. Okay, we got nothing. So I want to, with my last couple minutes, show the American people that they're never going to impeach Joe Biden. It's never going to happen because they don't have the evidence. Okay, this is a show. It's all fake. They just want to do these hearings. It's not leading to impeachment. They're lying to their base on Newsmax and Fox, leading these people to believe that they're going to eventually impeach the president. It's not going to happen at all, ever, period. They don't even have the votes, even if they had it in committee. They don't have the votes on the floor. They know that. They got members resigning rather than taking a vote on the fake faux impeachment. Just ask Ken Buck, who said the speaker ain't going to get me to take an unconstitutional impeachment vote. I mean, boy.
When ultimately they engage in that behavior, and as I've always said, it's always projection and confession, because one of the things that they feel is that a good defense is just go on the offensive and make up all of these lies, and the media will both sides it. Because what's really going on here as well, in addition to all of Donald Trump's corruption and emolument clause violations, just think about this. Here's what we know about Jared Kushner and Ivanka, Donald Trump's daughter and son-in-law. First off, they made $640 million working at the White House. $640 million. When the Republicans go after Hunter Biden, it's like, did President Biden give Hunter a $4,000 car loan when President Biden was not the vice president, not the president, and Hunter Biden was recovering from drug addiction? Did President Biden help his son with a loan? Oh, well, the loan was transferred from the CCP, and they come up with all this crazy stuff. Jared and Ivanka made $640 million. Jared Kushner couldn't get a security clearance. He was viewed as being compromised, so he cannot get a security clearance. But nonetheless, Donald Trump had Jared Kushner run Middle East policy, which for Jared Kushner meant basically going to Saudi Arabia and making deals with the countries for himself and for the Trump family. And this is Kushner's Middle East, as MSNBC called it, his Middle East shakedown. And as January 6th, was happening, Kushner was in the Middle East talking to these people, it seems raising money for his own fund. He was never a fund manager before. Affinity Partners AUM, and Kushner raised $3.1 billion. With how much? 625 from foreign entities, 200 million from Qatar, another 200 million from the UAE, and $2 billion from Saudi Arabia. Kushner raised $3.1 billion, $2 billion from Saudi Arabia, and MBS, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, was bragging that Kushner is in his pocket. It's in his pocket. And then there was news that a possible kill list of an enemy list, rather, was handed over to MBS, and retaliation was taken of people who were on an enemy list that was handed over to MBS. We know that, at least it has been reported. And here's Jared Kushner. He's giving an interview with Axios, and they asked Kushner in this interview, and give Axios credit, hey, well, what do you think about this money you took from Saudi Arabia? And Kushner goes, are we really going there? You're really asking me that still? People still care about that. Here, play this clip.
A report came out a couple weeks after you left the White House. It says that MBS personally was responsible. Do you agree with the DNI? Do you believe that report?
Are we really still doing this, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go to this.
And that's the thing here. Here's this clip of Jim Jordan being asked about Jared Kushner. Play this clip.
And Dan Goldman, I don't think we have the soundbite queued up, but I think Dan Goldman came out and said, oh yeah, Hunter had nothing to do with foreign governments, but Jared Kushner did. That narrative come up?
Again, I'm not going to get into what came up in this interview today, this deposition, but the idea that Jared Kushner did something wrong is ridiculous. I mean, the Trump family that has been investigated more than any family on the planet, and what they've attempted to do to President Trump and been doing to President Trump over the last 7 years is unbelievable. So, again, I don't want to get into that, but I will say this.
Well, let's do this. Let's do this, Congressman.
And you see Jim Jordan, the idea that Jared Kushner did something wrong is ridiculous. And it's this is where I say it's not even a matter of Democrat, Republican, or what. It just shouldn't be. There should just be basic right and wrong, right? It's wrong to rely on foreign agents of Russia and the CCP as your main witnesses if you're in Congress. Frankly, that should be criminal, in my opinion. And then you're just saying, yeah, you know what? Sure, Trump's son-in-law took $3.1 billion, made another $625 million. What's wrong with that, huh? Isn't that... We, the people, have to stand up to this behavior. We, the people, have to say enough. We, the people, can't be okay with this. And we, the people, need to call this behavior out. It is so vital that we do that. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers thanks to your support.
Enough! Send him to the big house, not the White House. Get the new exclusive tees, mugs, and stickers right now at store.MeidasTouch.com. That's store.MeidasTouch.com.